Hey, me out to the ball game.
Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air from Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Welcome to Baseball Banter Broadcast. I'm Chris Northrop with Northrop on the Northside. Today we're talking 5 top 10 Chicago Cub prospects on the 40-man roster poised to contribute in 2026. Now, as Cub fans, we've watched the offseason go by without the acquisition of any high-dollar free agents coming our way. However, we've gotten an upgrade in the bullpen. We got Phil Matton, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Hunter Harvey, Caleb Thielbar, Hobie Milner, Jacob Webb, and Colin Ray, who had an option. No fan would complain about improving the bullpen, but to the exclusion of addressing the other needs, and some of the more glaring needs than what we had needed in the bullpen. It appears so far that the Cubs will be filling the glaringly obvious needs for a starting pitcher and center fielder from within or via trade, since that it doesn't appear that they're going to make any attempt to sign a high-dollar free agent. Despite the 2025 team's postseason run, or even because of it perhaps, the Cubs appear to be comfortable with the current 40-man roster going into 2026, though the roster currently only stands at 36. In recent seasons, young players have successfully been developed by the Cubs at the major league level. Pete Crow Armstrong, Michael Bush, and Matt Shaw, just to name a few. It seems likely that the lack of action this winter by the Cubs may be an indicator that the Cubs will again rely on youth to fill out the roster. 5 prospects on the 40-man roster have an opportunity this season, and probably more than that, but for my purposes today, 5 have an opportunity this spring to make an impact and to join the majors when camp breaks. Now, fans of the Cubs are well trained to accept that the club will bypass the high-class free agents, that they will rely on the youngsters. Instead, we adjust our expectations, right? We sigh, we go, oh, it's the Cubs, and we just buy Moises Ballesteros merch. At least I will. Well, one jersey that I know will sell out will be that of 23-year-old Owen Casey. Casey is perched on the edge, waiting to see whether the Cubs acquire an outfielder to replace Kyle Tucker, or whether he receives the keys to the kingdom. Now, it's January, early January, and the Cubs have not made a move to acquire outfielder, so we can assume at this point that they're going with what they have. Casey saw action in 12 games with the Cubs in 2025. Unfortunately, he suffered a concussion on September 12th, 13th that is, and his big league numbers resultingly were unremarkable, with 1 home run and a 192 average. But his 2025 AAA Iowa numbers were very impressive. He batted .386, he had a .937 OPS, 55 RBIs, and a 139 WRC+. Cubs fans may wonder whether by using the youth, such as Casey, the club will use 2026 as a reset into 2027 after the upcoming collective bargaining agreement is in place. As a result, the young players in 2026 will, in the best of all possible Cub worlds, that is, become the talent in 2027 that will win a championship. Moises Ballesteros is 22. He's a catcher without a catching spot. He's queued up behind Carson Kelly and Miguel Amaya. Ballesteros has already been with the big club and demonstrated his considerable hitting skills in 2025. So much so, in fact, that manager Craig Counsell said, Moises in September, he gave us the offensive production of Tucker, essentially. Now that's high praise for a young player who made his major league debut for the Cubs on May 13, 2025. He was up for only 7 days before being sent back down. But in September, he filled in for the injured Tucker, and he hit .333, that's 13 for 39, with a .999 OPS. He had 5 extra base hits. In 20 games for the Cubs, he had a 13.6 walk rate, 18.2 strikeout rate, and he hit .298 with 5 extra base hits and 11 RBIs. He had a good season in 114 games for AAA Iowa. He batted .316 there with 13 home runs, 29 doubles, and 76 RBIs. He's a hitter who catches, and Cubs president Jed Hoyer addressed the challenge when developing young players at the big league level. Hoyer said, "I think we do view him as a catcher. It's hard to develop catching in the big leagues when you're trying to win, so we have to balance those things out and think about it." In 2025, Ballesteros caught only 6 innings in the last game 2 days before the playoffs. For the Iowa Cubs, he caught 71 games with a .986 fielding percentage, 7 pass balls, 14 caught stealings out of 106 attempts, and 10 errors, with a 79.6 mile per hour mark throwing out runners. He will impact the Cubs offense, probably will replace the lost production of Tucker, but expect the Cubs to find more creative ways than putting him in at catcher at the moment to get his bat in the lineup. He has played some first base. He may play some outfield. He will probably play some outfield. The next Cub prospect I want to take a look at is the Jaguar. The Jaguar is Kevin Alcantara's nickname, and he's aptly called that because of power, speed, and his good instincts in center field. Scouts have called his athleticism twitchy, as he ranges 6'6" and 188 pounds. In 10 games with the Cubs in 2025, he hit .364 with a .780 OPS. For AAA Iowa, in 102 games, he hit .266 with an .818 OPS, 17 home runs, 10 stolen bases, and 69 RBIs. Alcantara was on both postseason series teams. He's a quality defender with a strong arm. He made 4 errors with a .968 fielding percentage in center field for AAA Iowa. He's a potential 4th outfielder in an outfield of stars for the Cubs. Crow Armstrong, Ballesteros, and Happ. As he continues to develop strength and plate discipline, Alcantara could well see significant playing time in a retooled outfield. Pedro Ramirez trained with Moises Ballesteros in Venezuela when they were both amateurs back in before they were in the Cubs system. The two of them have become 2 of the best pure hitters in the Cubs system. Ramirez hit .280 with a .732 OPS, 8 home runs, and 73 RBI had 28 stolen bases in 129 games with AA Knoxville. He split time between second base and third base with the Smokies, and he won a Gold Glove for third base, the first Smokies players to win the award since 2019. Brett Taylor of Bleacher Nation made the comment that he points out that his versatility on defense, his switch hitting ability and base running skills make him a very good utility player. And this is a role that he could find himself in for the Cubs in 2026. Now, James Triantos is another prospect who could well find himself in a utility role. He played 64 games at second base for AAA Iowa and 31 games in center field. He also got some at-bats as designated hitter. He's very young, 22 years old. He was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2021 draft right out of high school. He had an off year this year at the plate, or in 2025, but is one of 3 promising pure hitters in the system for the Cubs. He hit .259 for AAA Iowa with good contact but pretty weak power. He had 7 home runs and 31 stolen bases. His speed on the base pad is an added skill to the big club. Despite a challenging adjustment in AAA this season, Triantos is the number 10 prospect in the Cubs system and profiles to add depth from the bench wherever he's needed. The Cubs have 5 outstanding prospects to rely on going forward in 2026, and it appears, at least from the threshold of a new spring season, that they may be relying on some of these players going forward. It doesn't appear as if they are going to reunite with Kyle Tucker. It's anyone's guess if they reunite with Cody Bellinger. I'm thinking that with these prospects in the pipeline, they may not feel the urgency for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your thoughts on these prospects and whether they can make the grade and join the big club and contribute in 26. Thanks for joining me today.